Hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Tusho, Nathan, Jasper, good morning. Gonna wait a couple more minutes for some people to join, then we'll get started. Goedemorgen. When moon? Soon, man, soon. Very soon. Let's see. Geo, what's up, mate? I hope this market testing the strength of my mental health. Welcome, Bo Bubbles. Welcome, Shell, 4 Ducks, Osman. Favoriete streekbiertje. Stella, man, Stella. Gonna wait like 4 more minutes until it's 10 a.m. and then we'll get going. We'll go over previous plans first and previous trades, and then we'll go over the plans for this week, what I'm watching, what I think is more likely to happen, and where yeah, potential triggers for trades are. How many trades do you take in a week? Depends. If the trigger is there, I'll take the trade, and if it's not, I won't. So there's weeks I barely take a trade, and there's weeks I take like 5 or something. So yeah, really depends. Good morning, Peter. Crypto Zimba, what's up, man? Good to see you here. Johnny B, what's up, mate? All right. Let's get started. So first things first, big thanks to the sponsor of the live stream, which is PrimeXBT, an online exchange where you can trade different kinds of assets with a crypto-based account. They're a lovely team, been with them for years now, so definitely check them out. The link is in the description, as well as a promo code which you can use to get up to $7,000 in bonuses. So it's worth checking them out, so definitely make sure you do so. Also, please subscribe to my channel, that helps me a lot, and feel free to leave a like on this live stream below. Helps me a lot as well to get these video towards more views and stuff. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Yeah, these last couple days, a lot of people getting chopped up on these lower time frames because price hasn't been doing anything basically. Yeah, and the best advice, sort of advice, not financial advice of course, I can give you is then just simply remove all of your levels, start from a clean chart and zoom out a little, right? Mark out those key highs and key lows, look where liquidity is resting, and then make your plans from there. That's at least what I'm always doing. If things get a little choppy on the lower time frames, zoom out, mark out the key levels, and go from there. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm having a clean chart here, and let's start on the weekly. Well, let's start on the monthly actually. Monthly range that we've had for months basically. It's this one. Okay, so from this all-time high, first time we saw a decent sized dip. Then from where did we bounce? Was from this low back towards all-time highs, and this low led to the sweep of the highs where we saw the downside again. Okay, so range high, range low, mid-range pivotal. So that's gonna be the monthly range we're gonna be working with. Then last month's high and last month's low. Why? Always gonna be key levels and draws on liquidity. So always good marking these out as well. Last month's low. Let's give them another color. Okay, then head over to the weekly. Same thing pretty much on the weekly. Mark out last week's high and last week's low. And what you can immediately see now is that price hasn't swept last month's high, hasn't swept last month's low, hasn't swept last week's low, and hasn't swept last week's high. What does that mean? Yeah, pretty much uncertainty in the market and great levels to work with. So whenever you have these kind of unswept levels, things can get choppy on the lower time frames because nobody knows where the drawn liquidity is going to be, so there's not going to be clean moves to the upside or clean moves to the upside. And what you tend to get then is this kind of chop where price goes for some highs, then rejects, goes for some lows, but never really sweeps key liquidity, and that's when you get chop like this. Okay, so other key levels I'm gonna mark out are the monthly open, and weekly open. Yeah, here. Weekly open. Okay. And now, as you can see, that already gives you a cleaner view of what's going on in the markets. So for me personally, I'm seeing quite a few plans where I would take trades. Now, the nearest points where I say major liquidity is resting would be above here, above these clean highs, and below last week's low. Why? Because this low resting right below there. Lots of stops gonna be resting there. So what's my first plan? Immediately, if we see some local downside here, which I think is likely, take out this liquidity, reclaim last week's low, reclaim the weekly open. That's a long for me. Where to first target these clean highs up here into this supply and maybe even last week's high after that. If last week's low is swept, drawn liquidity is gonna be on last week's high, but as always, take profit on the way up. Yeah, just in case we get stuff like this again and then retrace the whole pump. Would be a pity if you were long from here and then see all those realized, unrealized profits go to waste. So that's my first plan. Looking for longs on the sweep here. We'll probably blindly long here. Just a few, keep my risk low, and invalidation below here. Okay, why keep my risk low here? Because sorry, on the higher time frames, if we zoom out to the daily, we can see we have last month's low resting here and also have this key low resting right below. So we could easily slip through here or see a little bounce but then reject at the weekly open and go for last month's low and the low here and then see the bounce. Okay, I don't think if we go from here that we'll straight up go for our monthly range low because of the liquidity that is unswept above these highs here, above these and above here. So if we go from here, I'll be looking for longs. I won't be shorting any retests because I think people will get bearish again here. We'll start calling for the lows again and will just be another trap. Just like we saw basically these last couple weeks where everyone was calling for the lows on dips. And we bounced every time, like right here, right here, right here. I've just been longing pretty much all of these dips. And yeah, I'd say do it until it doesn't work anymore. Or until we see a major sweep of the highs and then the liquidity will be resting below us and below here. But until we have the fuel to dump all the way towards here, I'd say we need some highs, some more highs at least to get swept. So locally here, I would say the draw is locally to the downside below here. Why? Because of this little sweep we had overnight. So we took out some highs, failed to take out this, which is a good sign because now we can target these for longs, okay? But we swept minor liquidity, so I think taking out some lows here next is yeah the next logical move, okay? If we would have done this and then would have started nuking, then I would feel less comfortable longing down here because yeah, the sticky points in my opinion is here. So the points where the major liquidity is resting would be up here and down here. So whichever gets swept first, I look to trade. If price does this, you long and you target this. If price does this, yeah, then that's probably a short towards these clean lows here. Okay, so those are pretty much the plans on the lower time frames that I'm watching. I was long overnight from here because we swept these lows, all of these lows, and got a strong buyback. So I thought these highs would be next. And got a good response initially, closed 60% of my longs on the way up here, and closed a reminder of my longs just before the live stream down here. So pretty much a break-even trade, so I'm flat. Well, no, I'm break-even for the week. and currently flat. And yeah, I'm simply waiting now for the next high probability trades, which are for me, first one, this one, look for longs down here or look for shorts up here. Whichever gives first, I'll look to trade. If we do this and then go for the highs, I'll see the reaction. If it's bearish, then I could see us go lower from there. But yeah, as I said, I could easily see us do this and then go all the way up to last week's high. The sentiment at the moment is damn bearish again. Stocks are nuking and Bitcoin is holding up fairly well, in my opinion. So yeah, we'll have to see what's next and if we manage to push down towards range lows. But to be honest, I don't think... I mean, yeah, we could get range lows here, but I wouldn't be too sure about that. I think dips will get bought aggressively. And I don't think we make it towards here. I think we either see something like this or this. Of course, I could be wrong, and I'm ready for both, but that's what I'm seeing. Is that clear? Okay, let me check the chat. How can you figure if it's just a sweep or an expansion to the downside? Well, you don't pretty much. A sweep is basically taking out liquidity below key lows or above key highs. So whenever price reaches this area, you can say that these lows have been swept. So what I mean with that is basically stops below these lows have been taken. So they have been swept. And whether it's a breakdown or it's a fake out, that depends a lot on the context and on other factors, like for example demand resting here, key levels resting here, and the more confluence you have below the lows, the more likely you are to see the bounce after the sweep, and the less confluence you have below the lows, the more likely that you'll just slip through. So that's why I said when price reaches these levels, I'm gonna long, but I'm gonna keep my risk tight and not go full risk, because there's not that much confluence here, but I still think it's worth the bet, because we have this key level resting here, and on top of that liquidity is resting higher, which is nice confluence as well. Well, I mean, the liquidity, the drawn liquidity will then be to the upside. And I bet if we dump from here, everyone will be fucking bearish again. Everyone will be calling for the lows. So yeah, that's once again your ingredients for a pump and for a trap setup, which is why I think it's worth taking. It's always about where the draw is at on your liquidity, and whichever highs or lows get swept first. That's why I said if we would have done this first, then I'd feel less comfortable longing down here, because then these highs would have already been swept. While if we go for these, you have a clean target of highs up here and a shitload of liquidity resting here. Why did we not hit 40.2? There are so many stops. Never ask why did price do something. Price does things because it wants to, and you don't need to find a reason for every move on Bitcoin. It does what it wants and it does what it does, and yeah. If it does something, it was in the chart. 40k has been a psychological level on steroids. Yes. Plenty of bulls? I don't know, I wouldn't say so. I feel like more people are bearish here than bullish. But anyways, gotta do your own thing, and I think if we reach down here and sweep all of these lows, then that's a nice long. Not a question, just want to say your voice combined with the music is soothing. Can you read me a bedtime story? I will. How do you choose the time frame to determine supply? Depends. If you're swing trading on the daily, you mark out daily supply areas, and if you're scalping or day trading, you mark out lower time frame supply areas. But yeah, you can find them on basically every time frame. Since I'm more a day trader, I'll look for confluence with high time frame and low time frame areas, and then go from there. Makes sense, thank you. But what do you think about a whole downtrend that pretty much never gave us a retest or got higher liquidity but just kept dropping? Yeah, doesn't have to, of course. Doesn't have to sweep highs before going for the lows. So yeah, we could definitely go for range lows, but I just think it would be too easy. I mean, whenever everyone's waiting for certain levels to hit, it's likely they don't. When we had this March crash, right? Nobody was talking about it. Everyone was bullish up here. Well, maybe not bullish, maybe bearish, but nobody saw this coming. And now basically everyone's saying we're going for range lows, and everyone is saying we're going to have a capitulation event. And whenever everyone's saying something, the chances of it happening decrease a lot, which is why I think it's not going to happen. And which is why I think this area, what we're seeing right now, is just accumulation. And I could see something like this, but I think we front run these bidders. Sub 28k bidders. I think we front run them. But yeah, of course I could be wrong. I'm not a swing trader, I'm mostly a day trader, so, and I'm holding spots. I'm fully in spots right now. And yeah, if we do this, I'll just hold. See what we get. 50k or 28k, what comes first? I'd say 50k. Like I just said. I think even this area comes before this. But yeah, could be wrong. Could even see us bounce from here towards these highs, to be honest. Low swept into this key level. That's a local range as well. From here to here. See how beautiful, mid-range, pivotal. Resistance, resistance, quickly deviated above, swept the low into range low. So I think, yeah, at least this mid-range will probably be next, and then we'll have to see. Then from there we'll go for the lows. If we reclaim this, well then the highs are next. Into this, and then up here. But yeah, I mean, if you were to long down here thinking that we'd go for this, where do you keep your stop? Probably below here. Yeah, this setup makes sense, I think. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna take it. Because chances of us going to this area are also very high. But at the same time, I've seen a lot of people post the scenario where we take out this and wanted to long this. So it would definitely make sense to go for the highs first. And then we might slip through and do something like this. Makes sense. Good morning, thank you for this update. I'm in a short and have a long plan on 36.8, never flipped an order. So we'll close the short before opening the long. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, if you just have a plan and follow your plan, you're good. And if your plan is wrong, well, nothing to blame. Just follow your plan. Thank you for saying that. I think too many people are waiting for lower. Yeah. Would you short if we take the highs first? Probably I will. If we go for the highs from here, do something like this, I think I'll open a hedge at least. Well, hedge, short, whatever you want to call it, to be honest. I'll probably short because invalidation is pretty clear above here, I'd say. And with this liquidity resting lower then, it definitely makes sense. So something like this. Yeah. If we don't sweep the lows first, right? So always think about it. Whichever key liquidity gets swept first, you take. So first the highs you short, first lows you long. Let's take a look at high block. See, as you can see, majority of liquidations resting up here and down here. So basically exactly lines up with above here and below here. And yeah, if we take out this, I'd be surprised if we front run these. Then would only make sense to go for these and see a little lower wick to take those out and then go from there. Or go for the highs first and then lower. Exactly the same here. Liquidations above here and below here. These and then these. So you see the confluence of on around these areas are clearly visible on the blind, well, just a naked chart, as well as on high block. So these plans definitely make sense, I think, and those are the high probability trades. And it's whenever you trade within this area that you're gonna get chopped. We've seen it a lot of times lately, where we make highs, we make lows, and then we chop in the middle, sweep local highs, local lows, local highs, local lows. Everyone gets chopped up before taking key liquidity, and then that's the high probability trades. And that's exactly what they want you to do, right? So they want you to flip from bullish to bearish to bullish to bearish and shake you out before making the real move. So don't fall for it. Mark out your plans and follow them. And if you trade in the middle, I'd say set and forget. And what I mean by that is set your end. If you, for example, if you say right here, okay, we swept local lows into range low, so it makes sense to go for the highs now next, and you long, okay, say long here, invalidation down here, target up there. Don't flip bearish whenever we see ugly price action on the lower time frames, because you're gonna get it. You're gonna see bumps and then retraces all the way back and then straight up back up again, and that's simply to fuck with your mind and to shake you out of your position before hitting target. And if you're wrong, you're wrong, but then there's nothing to blame but the market. And if you're right, yeah, happy days, you have profit. But yeah, yesterday, for example, as well on the lower time frames, this PA where we pump and then retrace the whole move, and you're like, oh shit, this doesn't look good, this just looks like a sweep of the highs, and then you instantly retrace the dump, bullish again, and then bleed all the way back down again. If you're gonna be focusing on those moves, yeah, you're gonna get chopped the fuck out of your position, and that's not what you want. So all right, any questions, feel free to ask. There's an untapped 3-day order block from July 20th right below that key swing low that may act as demand after a sweep of kilo. Yeah, we could. Do you find high blocks subvaluable and really increasing your bottom like line, or is it just more of an additional data you like to use? I really like high block. I've been using them for quite a while now, and I love to use it in clock confluence. Just basically I only use those liquidation levels from them, but I really like using them in confluence with my levels on the chart. I agree, there's more short liquidation above to take out. If you use fib retracement on two green lines, you get the exact range where in with the low level swept. Yeah. I think we're gonna go to the highs from here, to be honest. Yeah, I think so too, to be honest, after seeing this. Too many people waiting down here. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's worth it. Definitely could be, to be honest. But yeah, Monday range as well. Monday high, Monday low. Neither has been swept. We are holding this range low though, and this demand took out this flat 4-hour bottom. So yeah, I could see it. I think we at least take out this last 4-hour high before potentially lower. But yeah, I don't know, with everyone calling for the lows already, not too sure. Could see this. Above here it probably sends at least towards this range high. Whoa, finally I made it live. Welcome, bro. Are highs and lows always swept? Which ones to expect to get swept? No. Yeah. No, it's just about whether price sweeps highs first. Well, that's how I trade basically. Look where the most key highs and key lows are resting and target there, or look for entries there. And whenever the highs get swept first, the draw will be to the downside, and whenever lows get swept first, draw will be to the upside. And combining that with supply and demand, and yeah, sentiment a little bit as well. I mean, lately sentiment has helped me a lot, to be honest. And on every one of these dips, people were calling for doom, and I just kept longing them, and it worked. So, and now we're seeing the same, a dip. So yeah, could definitely see this blue box next, to be honest. You draw straight lines by holding shift. Then they snap to horizontal. Whenever there is a sweep of liquidity, doesn't that mean there is more liquidity resting there again and would be targeted again? Or is a sweep of liquidity completed by itself? Yeah, then if the highs are swept, they're swept, right? So then liquidity has been taken, and then the draw is to the downside. We've bounced into quite a decent low time frame level here too. This 38.7 level has been bought up a lot of occasions over the last 5 days or so. Interested to see if it acts as resistance now, but look, man, I see here at the 42 highs that can be swept. Do we trade plan today? If I were to enter a trade here, it would probably be a long. Risk reward here for longs is much more in favor of longs than of shorts, because if you were to short, I'd have to keep stops above here, which yeah, I don't really like, and then target down here. As you can see, risk reward is better for longs, but yeah, not sure. I'd go low risk if you enter here. If you haven't already, please leave a like on the video, helps me a lot. Support the channel. Last couple of days, Asian session has been sweeping micro liquidity, leaving us. Yeah, exactly. We've seen these pumps into Asian session. Because, so I was long, I had a TP here and a TP at this high, so those got hit. But then we saw this, and yeah, then I was asleep. Would have more than likely closed short longs here. But yeah, we were already down here when I woke up, so... But yeah, that's fine. The blue box at 40.4 is the middle of the OTE. For real. Yep, OTE resting right above these highs as well. So it definitely makes sense targeting there. Another perfect, yeah, confluence area. So up here is gonna be key. Can we just go to 100k already? Plan B promised. Yeah, it's time for plan C, I guess. I agree, there can always be expected to be liquidity no matter if it is swept, because we get new orders every time. It's hard to understand and know what to do. Yeah. Rotating between previous week's value area, just tapped value area low, running back to previous week's POC at 38.9, so 39 pretty much. Yeah, I think so too. From here, probably at least this, and then we'll have to see. We definitely could front run Monday low and previous week's low. But then it could get ugly later in the week, I think. If we go up from here, which is likely, and take out all of this and leave all of this, then it could get ugly later in the week, I think. So it would be better if we do this now. Would be much better, but yeah, I'm not sure they're gonna give it to us. What does funding mean? Funding means the price you pay to stay in a position. If it's negative, longs get paid, and if it's positive, shorts get paid. Yeah, I'm still betting on taking out Monday low. Yeah, possibly. I mean, if in times like these when you don't know for sure what's going to happen, well, you never know for sure, but if you're like, yeah, what, I have no clue, simply stay out and wait for the next trades, wait for the next trigger. That's where a lot of people fuck up, where they always want to be in a position. That's not how you do things. You wait for your perfect setup to unfold and then you bet. How will tomorrow's FOMC meeting affect the market? Any insights? Thanks. Nope, no insights. News only brings volatility, but that's the only thing. So it could cause a move either to the upside or to the downside, but yeah, trade the chart, nothing else. I don't look at open interest, no. Okay, think I'm gonna go off now. I think the plans are clear. Major liquidity here and here, in my opinion, so those will be the high probability plays. Head for this first target up here and head for this first target down there. I think those two, yeah, are the higher probability setups here. Don't get chopped up in the middle. At least wait probably for Monday low or Monday high. And if you bet on the chop in the middle, set and forget, like I said, I think is the best way to trade it. Otherwise, yeah, it's likely you'll get shaken out. Anyways, thanks again to PrimeXBT for sponsoring. Thanks to you guys for coming. If you haven't already, leave a like. If you're interested in more of my strategies and stuff, I have a website. I have a group which you can join. More info in the description on my website. Okay, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.